Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jay and I'm one of the account managers here at LMN. I'll be your host for today's Crew to Crew. Just a reminder that Crew to Crews are a series of webinars taking place every Monday. They're designed with a focus on sharing tips and tricks on the software from our crews to your crews. So for today's demo, we'll be looking at our new integration with SiteOne. So this will include how to download material and pricing from your local SiteOne branch, as well as how to use estimates to directly place orders to your local SiteOne branch. Before we get started, I did want to quickly point out that if you have any questions throughout the webinar, do drop them in the GoToWebinar chat window down below, and I'll do my best to work through them as we go along and answer any remaining questions at the end. Thank you. So without further ado, let's jump right into LMN. So as you can see, we are on the main dashboard of LMN. We are in LMN estimating, and to start off with the first feature, we're going to be clicking on the left side navigation menu, and we're going to be clicking on the price list, and then we're going to go to materials. So this section used to be called the item catalog. Now it is changed to the price list over here. So as you can see automatically on this screen, I'm currently logged into SiteOne directly through LMN. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to log out and show you exactly how this works. So once you see this button here, you're going to click on it. And I already have my username saved, so it will automatically recognize that. You just enter the password, you click verify, and you'll be logged in. So it's important to note that you are using your correct SiteOne login, so that way it recognizes who you are and ensures that the material list and pricing are customer specific. Now, please do note that the SiteOne integration only works currently for US companies. This feature will be available in Canada in the near future, so do stay tuned for that. Now, if you're interested in ever adding or updating pricing and materials from SiteOne, you're simply going to click on this blue button over here at the top right. And the first thing that you will be asked to choose is the branch name. So exactly which location that you'd like to go. So for this example, we'll just leave it at Aberdeen, NC. And then right away, you're going to be able to pick the material categories that you would like to download from SiteOne. So based on this specific list over here. So let's just say that you are not doing hardscapes, but maybe you do irrigation, do a bit of maintenance, and those are the sections that you would like to do. So you do have that option to choose them accordingly. You'll also see that you do have the option to only download previously purchased materials. So this is very helpful, for example, if you didn't want to download the entire catalog and only what you've actually purchased before from SiteOne, you have the ability to pick the date set since that you would like to choose from as well. You would like to do so over here. And finally, a really cool feature here is in case that you want to remove items that are no longer from SiteOne. This is mainly applicable if you actually are comparing the new download with existing materials. So if it finds the materials that were available the first time you may be downloaded, but not available the second time, those missing materials will actually automatically be removed from your list, assuming that SiteOne is no longer carrying those materials. So finally, once you've made up your mind here and you've requested exactly which categories you'd like to download, you're simply going to click on the confirm button over here. And the request will then be sent to SiteOne, and you'll receive an email confirmation stating that the material and the pricing will be updated in a couple of hours. And you'll be able to see that notification in green up at the top right. So it may sometimes take up to 4 hours, so it's important to just make sure you keep an eye out on your email in case you receive those notifications. Now, once the materials have actually been updated or added into your material list, it will show up alongside everything that you have manually imported from other vendors. So to go through this, I will exactly show you what I mean here. So on this screen over here, you're going to see a drop-down menu for the category. So anytime that you've actually downloaded a list or imported it from SiteOne, you're going to see that SiteOne automatically creates categories over here. So let's just say that we want to go to SiteOne maintenance. You'll be able to see all of the different materials that were downloaded from SiteOne into your list just by seeing this category over here. So as mentioned, it will be assigned to the categories within each of the other categories you have. You'll see a new SiteOne feature. So now let's just say that you want to actually edit or update any of the materials that were downloaded from SiteOne after the fact. So what you would want to do is you'll want to click on a material. So let's just say this replacement battery. You'll be able to see the logo for SiteOne indicating that you've downloaded this from this vendor on the top right over here. Now, there are certain features that you can actually not change, or certain fields that you cannot change from SiteOne. So that would include the name of the material, the actual size, the SKU number, and the unit cost, which is your true cost. So these are fields that you wouldn't be able to change, unfortunately. At the same time, you also have the ability to change specific fields in Element within this material item. And that will be, for example, if you want to change the description, or if you want to add any internal notes, you also have the ability to do so. But the description would be another option that you can change. And then also the shipping factor, the warranty factor, purchasing tax, overhead markup, and if you have a custom profit margin, you have the ability to change this here. So as you can see, basically you do have the ability to change certain fields. Right now, we are showing you how you can actually do that individually by opening a material on the price list. There is also the ability for you to do this in bulk and assign category defaults in bulk. And to do that, a best practice would always be that once you have the categories chosen over here from SiteOne, you will basically want to make sure you select all, and you would reassign the categories to something similar in your list over here. So we have maintenance. For example, if we wanted to have a new category for maintenance, we would label that in over here and we can match it to that. Now, once you've actually done that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to see that there's a new menu that we have called settings at the top over here. So what we've done is we basically put everything in the estimating side into the settings to make it much easier for you to use and manage your materials, your estimates, your price list, and so on. So once you're on the screen, you're going to go down to element estimating and you're going to see price list right over here. You're going to click on the second tab called material categories. And then over here, you'll be able to choose the category. So let's just say if in this case, it was fertilizer that we wanted to adjust, you'd simply be able to adjust the shipping, the warranty factor, the tax, and so on. And then at the same time, add your profit margin. And then you have the ability to actually update materials that are only assigned to this category or update all materials that are assigned to this category. And once you've actually been able to do that, you'll be able to update it for your materials list. So that way they will carry over into this section over here once you have made those changes. So I just wanted to point out that you can either do this individually or you can do it in bulk via the element settings. So as you can see, with just a few clicks, you have the ability to add new materials and pricing directly from SiteOne into your LMN materials price list. And at the end of the day, this is much faster to make updates while also keeping your estimates profitable at the same time. I'm just going to see if any questions have come up. Otherwise, we'll be able to continue to the next half of this session. Okay, looks like we are good. So now we'd like to move on to the second feature of the SiteOne integration with Element. So this will include how to directly place orders to SiteOne from the estimate itself within Element. So to start off, what we're going to be doing is we're going to click on the Estimate tab on the left side navigation menu over here. And for this example, let's go with a existing service estimate that we have created. So I'm just going to pick one of these over here. So as you may be familiar with, this is the customer info section over here. For this example, I chose a maintenance estimate, and MB stands for mixed billing type, just to show you a bit of variation when it comes to this estimate. So at the far right, you'll be able to see the client's name, the address, the contact name, the number, and the email as well, along with the job site information. And for this example, I did want to choose an estimate that, let's just say visually that this estimate was already sold. So now we're ready to place the order with SiteOne, and we're good to go. And you'll see that by the estimate status over here. So we're going to go to the Services and Pricing tab. So we're going to select a service. So let's just say, for example, we have spring cleanup over here. We're going to click on that. And as you can see already, there are a few items that I have here. So we already have the labor, the equipment, and the materials. And we do have a couple of SiteOne materials. And once you've added that, you'll notice that there's a button here. So it automatically indicates that there are specific materials that I've added, and we'll go through with the next step over here. So as I mentioned, this would be one service. Another example would be in fertilizing. I did add some fertilizer and some other materials as well, just to make it a bit more variation here for the estimate. So once we have moved on from there, we've added our materials into the estimate. You're going to see an order from SiteOne button, which I mentioned. And this is going to be your go-to when it comes to actually ordering the materials, and it's simply just a click of a button. So what you would do is you'll click on this button over here. It's going to also ask you again for your password. This is primarily a security measure, just to make sure you have the legit SiteOne account. And it's similar to when you have user permissions in LMN. Basically, when you want to access certain things, it's pretty much that sort of security measure. So for this, we're going to re-enter our password. And just like that, it brings up the order, or the shopping cart, if you will, for SiteOne in the LMN estimate. So the first thing that you're going to notice is the branch name that we chose in the materials list is automatically saved over here. The PO number and the reference order number are also pre-populated with the estimate ID. So it's going to be important to make note of that. Along with that, over here, you're going to see there's an option if you ever want to search, if you have a big build of items that you're looking to order. And then also it lists all the materials, the quantities, and the actual unit costs for all the materials that you have estimated. Now, let's just say that you wanted to order more than one of these mower blades. You simply can just adjust the quantities accordingly, or even for other items. So for this example, I'm just going to be ordering one. And then once you have actually completed and understood exactly this screen, what you're going to want to make note of is also the subtotal at the bottom, in addition to a note that is listed right over here. And it's basically telling you that at the moment that you're placing this order, please note that the price and availability might actually differ. So it's really important to note that. And also that a SiteOne representative will get back to you once this is actually placed. So once we're good to go, we are going to click on the confirm button down below here. And just like that, we've placed the order, and it will bring you directly to the order summary screen. So automatically, SiteOne is notified that the order has been placed at that specific branch. They will receive the order. They'll send an email confirmation along with reaching out to discuss or confirm any substitutions that you may be requiring if necessary. So at the end of the day, this is really going to save you time, a lot of saving of risk of mistakes or even human error. So it's going to be helpful there. And then also reduces the need to always email or call vendors directly to get the pricing. So this is going to be a huge benefit for you as well. So lastly, as I mentioned, you can download the order summary over here by clicking on this button. And then also you have the ability to view directly from the estimate itself to simplify tracking. And I will show you exactly where that feature would be. Now on the order summary, you'll see the PO number and the reference order, the material details, and the quantity and the unit costs and line costs. So if we click on close, we have a new tab called SiteOne Orders at the far right of the service estimate. So as you can see, you'll see the order date, the PO number, the order number, and the subtotal. To actually view details on this order that you have placed, you simply would click on it and you'll pull up the order summary screen. So this pretty much covers the main features that I wanted to discuss with SiteOne, both how to download material and pricing, as well as placing orders from the LMN estimate. So what I'd like to do now is leave some time for any questions that may have come up, and we'll go through them accordingly. So I see one question here that has come up. So with this new integration, do the prices automatically update in LMN as SiteOne pricing changes? So great question here. So in this case, there is no specific auto sync or auto updates that is primarily happening here. There is that warning, as I mentioned, about the time that you place the order if their prices and availability might differ. So that's always an important note to make uh, aware for yourself as well. So yeah, just wanted to confirm. So is this only available in the US? So at the moment, SiteOne is only available in the US. For Canadians, this will be rolled out in the near future. So do stay tuned for that. Okay, so a couple more here. So do we have to have a user ID with SiteOne to get pricing from SiteOne? So another great question. So you do want to make sure that you are, as I mentioned, have a valid SiteOne account. If you do have any issues logging in, I always want to make sure if you do have that login, you try on your SiteOne website. If not, then please do let us know to our support team at support@golmn.com. So another great question. So will SiteOne notify us when they change prices, or should we download and update the list regularly? So again, make sure to stay in touch with your SiteOne representative. But when it comes to notifications, as I mentioned, you will be notified when at the time of your order, but more for the downloading the price list, it is good to kind of keep up to date and make sure that you're aware of certain features we addressed over here. Just piggybacking back to earlier, so I don't have any current timeline for the rollout in Canada, but again, do stay in touch with your dedicated account manager here at LMN and the team. So another one that came up here, so I started to download the SiteOne catalog into our material database, and our owner asked me to contact support and halt the download if possible. Is that possible? Can a SiteOne download be rolled back? So unfortunately, there's no rollback feature at this time, but what I would suggest is the category process we took, where you sort it by the material category and basically see the SiteOne auto created and then reassign that, and based on that category filter, you would be able to actually delete specific ones. So just very quickly, go to the price list, materials. Let's just say that you wanted to delete from the SiteOne list that you downloaded. If you go to that category, you can actually hover over them and click delete selected. Or if they've been re-added to another category, you can do the same. Just going to see if there's any more that have come through. So see here, another one came is, what if the price of an item changes between the time we create the estimate until the job is actually done? So great question there. So basically, price of an item, if it's being changed between the time you create the estimate, so it really depends in this case, like if you ever need to make new changes or if you need to re-download that price list when you're adding it to your estimate, it's going to be important to do so. But again, make sure that when you do know that the order is actually taking place, they will be notifying you of anything as well. So just make sure to stay in touch with your SiteOne representative as well. And the last question that came through is, would you recommend that I update the pricing through the material price list, or should I export the material list via .csv file and update pricing there? So again, with the sample file that we have, when you are actually downloading that and making your changes, it's always good for bulk updates. But again, don't forget about our LMN settings feature where you can update defaults in material categories as well. So those are two options that are going to be very helpful for you guys as well. So it looks like those are all for the questions today. They're great questions. Really appreciate the participation here. I will make sure to follow up offline if any additional questions do come through. So thank you for that. So I just wanted to wrap this up for today. So just wanted to give a quick reminder about our forms library. It's a very handy tool found within your account on the LMN estimating side of the software. There's over 700 forms and processes available to download and edit or merge for free. It includes everything from the admin to the accounting to financial, health and safety documents, job descriptions, and much, much more. Also important to understand that we do host LMN user groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. It's a really great way to network with other companies using LMN and to better understand how they leverage the software within their business. And finally, we have tons and tons of support resources, as I've mentioned throughout the presentation. So the first would be the Virtual Academy, so online training to learn at your own pace, formerly known as the Academy Online, with the pre-recorded training videos. And we do also have a new program that was launched called Live Virtual Academy. And these are classes that happen 4 times a day. And the best part is that they're actually broken down into the specific types of work that you do. So as an example, if you're only an install or design build company, or if you're maintenance, we do have the right course for you. So you're going to want to make sure that you do check out those classes as well and sign up as accordingly. We also do have LMN one-on-one support, so be sure to connect with your dedicated account manager if you haven't already for a free demo or to discuss any specific topics that you'd like to cover other than today's demo as well. And our role here at LMN is primarily to support you the best we can with onboarding with the software. So you're going to want to make sure to utilize that support. It comes quite handy. The third one would be the virtual workshops. So the Build a Better Landscape Business workshop is hosted by our very own CEO, Mark Bradley, every Tuesday. So make sure to join us tomorrow, March 9th at 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern for the next session. And finally, the LMN free webinars. Just like today's Crew to Crew, these are great for not only learning about specific functionalities within the software, but also to keep up with the industry. So just make note of the new 7-part series on building a strategic plan. This is also hosted by our CEO, Mark Bradley. You won't want to miss that one. And this Thursday, March 11th at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern is episode number 5. Episode number 5 will be on the waste elimination strategy. So you're going to want to check that out as well. If you ever want to catch the recordings and to register for the last 3 episodes, watch those recordings, simply go to golmn.com/webinars. And as mentioned, as you can see on this slide over here, any of these resources that you'd like to check out and receive more additional information, or even if you just have questions about it, anything maybe you're looking to explore further on, or even have any ideas for anything else that will help with your onboarding throughout the software, you go to golmn.com/resources and you'll find all the information there. So to conclude, with that being said, from our LMN crew to your crew, thank you very much for joining us today. If there's any follow-up questions that you may have from today's session, please do email us at support@golmn.com or feel free to jump on our live chat. A live chat is going to be found on LMN Estimating or LMN Time on the chat window at the top right. And wishing you and your team a very happy and safe 2021 season. Take care. Bye for now. It's been a pleasure. Take care.